Sikuo. Good afternoon and thank you for your company as always with us on African News 24 television, your premier source for timely updates from across the continent and beyond. I'm Lydia Ajayi, bringing you the latest developments in politics, sports, entertainment and more. We begin this hour in Abuja, where workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, backed by the Nigerian Labour Congress, has picketed the National Industrial Courts in Abuja, demanding the removal of the Minister of FCT, Iyesom Wike. They protested at the courts in Abuja, demanding Wike's removal as part of an ongoing total and indefinite strike action over unresolved labour disputes. The protest followed a directive from the NLC, which declared full support for the industrial action, describing the strike as justified in the face of what it termed persistent violations of workers' rights by the FCTA management and political leadership. Some of the placards carried by the protesters bore inscriptions such as "Wike must go," "Abuja no be rivers," "Pay promotion arrears," "Enough is enough," and "no working tools."
That we're agitating for our rights that have been trampled upon as workers, and the demands have not been met. We talked about our wage award arrears, which has not been paid. We talked about our pension, which has not been remitted to the pension fund administrators. We talked about our national housing fund. You know, we talked about elongation of directors. We talked about intimidation of staff, that when somebody goes wrong, instead of them to use the civil service way of punishing or disciplinary action in line with the civil service rule.
And to politics, Governor of KANO State Abba Yusuf has joined the All Progressive Congress, APC. This follows his resignation from the new Nigeria People's Party last Friday. The governor's spokesperson, Sanusi Bature, confirmed the development in his statement, noting that the move is aimed at strengthening cooperation with the federal government, accelerating development, enhancing security, and improving service delivery in KANO State. Governor Yusuf, who was previously a member of the APC in 2014, formally registered as an APC member today alongside 22 state lawmakers, 8 federal lawmakers, and 44 local government chairmen. As part of the event, the governor also flagged off the APC e-registration exercise in KANO State. The defection is expected to have a significant impact on the political landscape of KANO State and the wider Northwest region. From Kano in the northwest of the country to Anambra, the southeast, where the governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has ordered the one-week closure of the Onitsha main market after traders failed to comply with the state government's directive to resume normal business activities on Mondays, despite assurance of improved security. Governor Soludo gave the directive on Monday during an on-the-spot visit to the market, warning that the shutdown could be extended to 1 month if traders continue to observe the sit-at-home order. He described the traders' absence as economic sabotage, insisting the government would not allow fear to dictate the state's economic life. Security agencies have since sealed the market to enforce the order. The move highlights the ongoing struggle to end Monday sit-at-home disruptions in the southeast as the state intensifies efforts to restore economic stability. Attention now turns to next Monday when the market is expected to reopen and whether traders will return to their stores or prolong the standoff with the government.
And the rules are that markets are open Monday to Saturday. If you are not prepared to open your shops Monday to Saturday, then leave Anambra, go to elsewhere. Simple. Period. Okay? So, this market will be shut down for the remainder of this week. It will not be open tomorrow. It will not be open on Wednesday. It will not be open on Thursday. It will not be open on Friday. It will open again on Monday. And if we come on Monday, you want what? Most people here who keep their shops locked.
And to the judiciary, the governor of Plateau State, MUTFWANG, has sworn in 6 newly appointed judges of the state's high court. At the event, the governor charged them to strengthen the rule of law and deepen democratic governance in the state. The governor described the ceremony as critical to the sustenance of democracy and the protection of citizens' rights, noting that the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man.
Today's ceremony marks yet another significant milestone in our collective journey to strengthen the rule of law, uphold justice, and deepen democratic governance in our beloved Plateau State. The judiciary remains the last hope of the common man, and the quality, integrity, and independence of those entrusted with judicial authority largely determine the confidence of citizens in the justice system.
For the confidence reposed in us, and for the constitutional role you have played in making this day a reality, we are most grateful, Your Excellency. We solicit your prayers to exercise wisdom and discernment in deciding.
Welcome to business. Oil prices edged lower on Monday, January 26, 2026, after rising more than 2% in the previous trading session, as concerns over supply disruptions in the United States were offset by expectations of an oversupplied market later in the year. Brent crude futures fell by 7 cents or 0.1% to $65.81 per barrel by 0221 GMT, while United States West Texas Intermediate crude slipped 6 cents or 0.1% to $61.01 per barrel. Despite the slight decline, both benchmarks recorded weekly gains of about 2.7%, closing on Friday at their highest levels since January 14. The market has been reacting to production disruptions caused by severe winter conditions in major U.S. crude-producing regions, even as longer-term supply outlooks suggest excess output in 2026. Meanwhile, geopolitical tensions remain in focus following reports that a United States military aircraft carrier strike group and other assets are expected to arrive in the Middle East in the coming days. Commenting on the market movement, a senior market analyst at Philip Nova Limited, Priyanka, said oil prices have been influenced by signs of U.S. production disruptions and ongoing geopolitical risks weighed against expectations of an oversupplied market this year. Vice President Kashim Shettima, former President of Nigeria Olusegun Obasanjo, have called on African countries to solve their economic problems by focusing on local production, innovation and investments rather than relying on imports and foreign aid. Speaking at the 2026 World Economic Forum in Davos, they said Africa's prosperity must be built from within through strong domestic industries. Both men cited Nigeria's Dangote refinery as example, saying it is helping the country move toward becoming a net exporter of fuel. Other stakeholders at the event also highlighted the importance of technology, skills development, and free movement of people across Africa to boost growth. They added that initiatives like the Accra Reset aim to shift Africa from dependency to dignity and create sustainable homegrown wealth across the country.
To commit to sourcing 10% of their remote technical workforce from the Accra Reset Nation by 2030. This is the win-win we promise for decades, but fail to deliver. You get the talent you desperately need to innovate. We get the dignified jobs we need to stabilize. Together, we turn the digital divide into a digital bridge. The bridge is built. It is secure. It is open for business. It is time to cross it.
That is why the Accra Reset has come to be. Inspire leaders to stop complaining about the system that has changed or is changing, and to build a way through it.
Just last September at the UN General Assembly, I introduced the Accra Reset Initiative, not as another declaration, not as a wish list, but as a practical answer to a question millions of young Africans are asking: what should Africa's response be in a changing global order? Today in Ghana, we're answering that question. We're resetting our country. We're cutting waste, we're restoring hope, and we're building systems that work.
On the foreign scene, a male migrant has been rescued after spending 24 hours in the Mediterranean, while 50 others were feared drowned following the sinking of their boats. The survivor, who was rescued by a merchant ship of Tunisia and taken to Malta for medical care, told the alarm phone emergency hotline that he believed everyone else on board had died. Authorities said the boat departed from Tunisia, a common point for migrants attempting the perilous journey to Europe. Neither the exact time of the rescue nor the identities of the missing passengers have been confirmed. In sports, the Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Omotosho, has clinched the Ogudu GRA Table Tennis Club Division 2 Cup, recording a surprise victory that has drawn admiration from sports enthusiasts and residents alike. Omotosho announced the win on his X, formerly Twitter handle, describing the triumph as one achieved against all odds and attributing it to what he called the spirit of Lagos. The competition, held at the Ogudu GRA Table Tennis Club, featured players from across the division with keenly contested matches throughout the tournament. Omotosho's victory stood out as he battled through strong opposition to emerge champion in the Division 2 category. Beyond the trophy, the commissioner's win has been seen as a moment that underscores the growing culture of grassroots sports and recreation within Lagos communities. Supporters and colleagues have since congratulated Omotosho, hailing the achievements as a reflection of resilience, discipline, and the enduring competitive spirit often associated with Lagos State. And lastly, in entertainment, Nollywood actress and filmmaker Mercy Aigbe has reflected on her life journey, describing her success as a result of perseverance, faith, and an unwavering commitment to motherhood. Speaking during a recent interview on a TV show, said motherhood remains her greatest pride, noting that raising her children is a responsibility she cherishes deeply. According to her, achievements today are proof that she refused to give up despite challenges. The actress revealed that her faith has been a constant source of strength, adding that she regularly prays not just for strength, but for wisdom to navigate life and parenting. She described motherhood as a blessing she does not take lightly. Aigbe also opened up on the emotional impact of losing her mother, adding that the loss affected her deeply and forced her to pause her filmmaking career temporarily. She explained that she was not mentally prepared to produce a movie at the time, as the grief was still overwhelming. And that will be all for now. You can follow us on more updates on these stories and others on our website at africanews24.ng. You can as well follow us on all our social media platforms to stay informed and ahead. I am Lydia Ajayi. Good evening.